Hey everybody, welcome back to another Jackson Jet Setting Cruise Review. Today I'm reviewing my 3-night sailing on board the Carnival Glory, which sailed from Port Canaveral to Bimini in the Bahamas. It was my first time back in Bimini since my cruise on board the Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady way back in 2022. So I was excited to come back and see what was different and check out a few more spots on the island. And I was also excited not to visit Nassau on a short 3-night voyage from Port Canaveral because I have been to Nassau way too many times in 2024. So this was the Glory, which is a sister ship to several other Carnival ships that I've reviewed on the channel. So I was excited to see what was different, especially because the Glory had recently undergone some dry docks. So I wanted to see how Carnival has improved the ship, what's refreshed on board. So let's get started, but before we do, if you like this video, give it a like, leave us a comment, and feel free to subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. So if you do watch the channel, you might know that I am quite the theme park nerd, especially Disney. So I'm always excited to sail out of Orlando because it has some of my favorite theme parks. I still have a SeaWorld annual pass from a promotion last year. So I decided to stay the night before at the Renaissance Orlando at SeaWorld. It's located just across the parking lot from SeaWorld. Was able to ride a few roller coasters right before my cruise, before boarding, headed back, packed up, and hopped in an Uber to head to the port. The port is only about 45 minutes from the Lake Buena Vista main theme park area, but it's even shorter from the Orlando International Airport. You can grab a very cheap shuttle, about $25 a person from the Orlando Airport. You don't necessarily need to book that in advance most of the time. And I also did that on the return. I just show up and they have a shuttle running and it's $25 plus tax and tip, and it's a great deal. So I really do love sailing to Orlando for that reason, because it's just very cheap to get to the port. Embarkation on Carnival ships is pretty easy. I do have to print out my boarding pass, though. I've made that mistake in the past. Carnival, for some reason, despite you having a barcode on your phone that they'll use to scan, you need to have it printed out. And if you forget to do it, you'll have to print it out at the port, which they do have people with mobile printers there. But then it becomes this very small receipt-like piece of paper that you got to keep on you until you get your key cards in your room around 1:30 or 2. So for me, that's a little bit of a learning curve that I have learned over my couple of Carnival cruises, is to print out my boarding pass before I leave home. So that's what I did. Now this is a new terminal for me out of Port Canaveral. This is the one that's closest to the ocean, so great views. We were supposed to leave at about 4 p.m., but there was some delay, which is no big deal because we weren't going very far to Bimini in the Bahamas. But it was really cool because we had some great sail-away views of not only the Utopia of the Seas, which I have sailed on before. I was on the inaugural way back in July of this year, so you can check out all of my videos down below and on the channel, and then also the Disney Wish, which I've sailed on before and also have plenty of videos on. So it was really fun to see those, two of my favorite ships that I've been on, and it's just really a lot of fun to get into a horn battle with some of these other massive ships, Utopia of the Seas being the second largest ship on Earth. I was sailing in an inside cabin on this voyage, short 3-night cruise down to the Bahamas, so I did not mind not having a balcony or a window. I'm barely in my room as it is. Plenty comfortable, and it was on a nice high deck. It was on deck 10, so that was really convenient for heading down to the pool or the buffet or any of the other activities on the top decks here. I really like the location of this, and probably would take this over a less convenient ocean view or balcony room on a lower deck. After settling in the room, decided to head over and grab some lunch since it was Embarkation Day after all. So I stopped by Guy's Burgers joint. Guy's is one of my favorite things of any Carnival ship. I feel like the lunch here is amazing. It's one of the best burgers at sea. Got great french fries, awesome toppings, so I would not miss this. It does get busy around meal times, but it's included in your cruise. It's one of the best parts of being on board a Carnival ship. In terms of other food, I feel like it was par for the course with Carnival, which is great. Blue Iguana Cantina has some really fresh tortillas for all their tacos and burritos. Awesome deal there. I love the main dining food as well. So I did my time dining on this voyage. I was able to choose my time. There's 2 different dining rooms on board, and the menus are pretty much the same that I've experienced on other Carnival ships, especially these shorter cruises. Really, really good food. I love the short rib on the Embarkation Day. That's going to be my favorite dish of the entire cruise, so I never miss the Embarkation Day dinner. So take that little tip from me. But overall, great food on board. Buffet was par for the course, great stuff, and would not hesitate to enjoy the included food on another Carnival ship. So in terms of the itinerary, we had a day at sea on Saturday, and then on Sunday we sailed into Bimini in the Bahamas. So my sea day was spent basically just having fun on board. There are a lot of included activities on a Carnival ship that you can take advantage of. There's bingo, there's Let's Make a Deal, there's the Love and Marriage game show. There are just a lot of activities that Carnival includes. I do feel like Carnival has a ton of live music throughout the ship, a lot more than Royal Caribbean, a competitor of theirs. So that's a lot of fun. Trivia is another one. They have lots of trivia activities, and this is pretty much all included. Let's Make a Deal and bingo are going to be an extra charge, but you do have a chance to win back your money there. So overall, I really do love the activities on board Carnival ships. There is a nightclub on board. I didn't partake in that. And then there's comedy shows, which I always try and visit. I love that Carnival includes at least 2 comedians on every ship. Sometimes I've seen 3 comedians, which is awesome. So it's good to rotate, because on other ships, sometimes they just have 1 comedian, and if it's not really your style of comedy, you're not going to be a fan. So it's nice to mix it up a little bit and have 2 on board. For the kiddos, there's of course the Camp Ocean area on board, and I love that the Glory had a covered playscape for them as well, for the little kids. So that's really nice. Just nice to have the kids get some outdoor activities exclusive just to them on a slightly smaller ship compared to the new ones out there today. So that's great. And they had 2 water slides, which was awesome. So they intertwined together, and the kids were having a ball with that. So obviously kids are going to have fun on board here. Kids tend to have fun anywhere they go. But it's nice that they have a lot of area here on the top decks just for them. Now, our one stop was Bimini in the Bahamas. It's a small island. It's relatively new for cruising. They just built their cruise port a few years ago. I have been here before as a part of Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady way back in 2022, and they use the Resorts World Bimini Bahamas Resorts beach club as their private beach club destination. So that's included in the cruise. On Carnival, that's not included. You can actually buy a $100 a day excursion. It's a little bit less if you don't include the open bar, which I went with the open bar since I was gonna have a few drinks on shore anyway, so why not? But for $100, I got access to the entire Resorts World resort. It's funny enough a Hilton, so you can actually use points to stay here. I've always kind of eyed this as an interesting weekend away from Fort Lauderdale. It's only about 50 miles away, so you can take a ferry over instead of a cruise ship. But I was excited to see what onshore, what kind of fun I could find. So toured the whole resort. It was really cool that you got access to not only the pool on the lower level that had great harbor views, but also the top floor infinity pool, which I think is a hidden gem of this excursion. And then over at the beach club, it's got a DJ going. They had different types of music going all at once. It was really fun. Huge pool here, and the free drinks were great. I will say the free drinks start at 11. You get a welcome beverage if you arrive before that you use. And then from 11 until about 2 when you leave, you get a drink every 15 minutes, and they do time you there. So it's funny, they don't want people just going ham on the open bar, and 15 minutes each is plenty, I think, for the crew on board the Carnival Glory. So it was a lot of fun, really high quality beach experience, very high end beach club. So I definitely recommend this excursion. I've done other excursions here. We did shark snorkeling and the snorkeling at the wreck of the Sapona on board the Virgin Scarlet Lady. So that was a lot of fun if you want a little bit more adventure in your day. So overall, would I sail the Carnival Glory again? I would say yes. I felt like the Carnival Glory was in excellent shape because of its recent dry dock, which is awesome. It's a sister ship of the Conquest and the Valor that have sailed in the past, and I felt like it was in the best shape of all of them. Felt like the crew was excellent on board. Everyone was super friendly, happy to be there. That's what you look for on a vacation. So I really liked my time on board the Carnival Glory. It's funny how each ship, even though they have the exact same layout, maybe they have some small differences, but it can make a big difference how the crew is and work together, and they were really great on board. So overall, wouldn't hesitate to enjoy the Carnival Glory again. Thanks a lot for watching my review of the Carnival Glory. We'll see you on the next cruise ship video, and happy sailing.